Hello listeners, and welcome to the first program in our series, Let Us Learn, Design and Technology, which is produced for grade 8 learners and anybody else who has an interest in the subject. My name is Nodi Iyambo. Today we are going to learn about the design and technology concepts. And don't forget to take part in the quiz at the end of the program. Please have a pen and a notebook ready so that you can make notes of the key points. Most of the things we see around us are designed to solve a problem. Isn't that so? I hope today's program will shed light on the risks involved in designing a product. At the end of this program, you should be able to describe the concepts, design, technology, describe the link between design and technology, explain and describe the negative and positive environmental and social impacts of design and technology.
Hey, hello. How you doing?
I'm okay, Silas. How are you?
Great. Is design related to technology?
I think so. You cannot design without technology. May our teacher please explain to us?
Good morning, class.
Morning, sir.
Aloy and Silas, please sit down. What is the matter with you?
Sir, we were trying to find a link between design and technology. Actually, sir, we want to know what technology is.
Yes. There is a link between design and technology. In grade 7, we learned about design. Design is all about your ideas and plans on paper. Design is an important thing because everything we see around us originated initially from design. For example, cell phones. Can somebody please tell us what technology is?
Yes, sir. It is the development of ideas and how such ideas are realized through application of skills to make a product. You already know that design is a plan on paper. So technology is the machinery and tools used to make your plan work.
Oh, okay. So first we plan our ideas on paper and then we use technology to make them real. I get it now. But what is the link?
The link is as follows. Design and technology is a process as well as a product. It's about solving problems, satisfies human wants or needs, involves human skill and invention. Do you think technology is good?
Yes, sir. Sometimes, although I am disappointed by Chinese products. Yesterday I went to buy a chair for my sister from a Chinese shop and it broke just the moment she sat on it. I was so angry because it was very expensive.
Every design product has its advantages and disadvantages.
I know sometimes advantages that are involved in design, but I would like to know more about disadvantages or the risks involved in the design of a product. Let us go and get more information from the design and technology teacher.
Okay.
Yes, Silas. Go ahead and ask your question.
Sir, we discussed something related to this topic. It came from a fact that I was very disappointed when my sister's new chair, which was just bought, broke when she sat on it.
I told him that every design product has its advantages and disadvantages involved, sir.
Thank you very much for your participation, Aloy and Silas. Now, class, state the advantages and disadvantages of technology on the following products. Advantages of technology on television, COVID-19 tester, aeroplanes. Disadvantages of technology on television, COVID-19 tester, aeroplanes.
Advantages of technology on television: we get updated on what is going on in the world. And the disadvantages of television is being close to the TV screen damages your eyes. Kids get exposed to bad things such as killing in movies. Advantages of COVID-19 tester: It can detect whether you have the virus or not, and the disadvantage would be that it's very expensive. And the advantage of aeroplanes is that travels become faster, easier, and more comfortable. And the disadvantage would be the accidents, which include deaths and injury, and causes air pollution.
So, what can I do to prevent my eyes from being damaged when I watch television?
Very good question, Silas. You just have to keep a distance between you and the television and limit watching TV all the time. Can somebody please list the negative and positive environmental impacts of design and technology?
Yes, sir. Negative impacts are pollution and deforestation, which can cause soil erosion. The positive impacts are better farming by using machines to harvest, sow, and water your garden, improved communication among people, and efficient use of resources.
Excellent, Silas. What did we learn today, Yalo?
We learned the concept of design and technology, the link between design and technology, advantages and disadvantages of design and technology, as well as positive and negative environmental impact on design and technology.
And that brings us to the end of today's program. But before we say goodbye, here is your question for the day. Choose the correct one. Which one of the following is the positive impact of technology? A. Desertification. B. Destruction of ozone layer. C. Improved communication. D. Increase in human population.
So I think C, sir. Improved communication.
Yes, Silas, you are right. This program was written by Mrs. Naomi T. Koskenkangas. So until next time, take care and wear your mask.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.
Hello listeners, and welcome to the second program in our series. My name is Jandre Nitschke, and today we're going to learn about design and technology, which is produced for grade 8 learners and anybody else who has an interest in the subject. Don't forget to take part in the quiz at the end of the program. Please have a pen and a notebook ready so that you can make notes of the important points. We are all aware of the COVID-19 pandemic, isn't it so? I hope that today's program will shed light on some of the risks involved during this virus pandemic and how it can be solved. At the end of this program, you should be able to list the factors that are influencing design, functionality, ergonomics, aesthetics. Apply the first 4 stages of the designing process: general analysis of the product and the formulation of the design brief, preparation and precision of specification, exploration of ideas, development of proposed solution.
You know what, Evelyn? My aunt was so furious with me this morning for not wanting to take along my hand sanitizer to school.
At least you have hand sanitizer. Some of us just regularly wash our hands on the container. I don't even understand the use of washing your hands and still closing the tap with your hands. I wish there was a better device than that.
Let's go for the lesson and see what the teacher thinks about the idea.
Good morning, class. Please sit down. Evelyn and Toyni, what's going on?
Toyni complained about her aunt being furious because she didn't bring along her sanitizer to school. How about us who wash our hands every day with a device that requires someone to open it for you and close it again?
Well, girls, calm down. That's a good way to start today's topic based on design. Yesterday, we learned about design and technology in general. Today, we will talk about design in theory and practice. Does anyone have an idea of what you need to consider first before you think of designing anything?
I think you need to consider the materials you're going to use, as well as the tools and the structure of the product.
Oh, so we need to consider all that before we make up a product?
Yes, you're right, Toyni. Let us first start with the factors that are influencing our choices to come up with any design of a product. We have three main factors, which are functionality, aesthetics, and ergonomics. When we talk about functionality of a product in general, we mean the product must serve the purpose it was made for. Aesthetics is concerned with the beauty of a product in terms of its appearance and how people view it. Ergonomics is a way in which technology is used to design a product which is user-friendly, meaning that you should consider a positive environmental impact.
Oh, okay, ma'am. So basically, you should design a product that will meet the functions it was made for, so that you won't waste material, and it should be environmentally friendly and eye-catching to my potential customers.
This is interesting. I never knew that the TV I watch every day and the radio that I listen to every day had to undergo all those design considerations, just for us to enjoy the music and the series.
Exactly, Toyni and Evelyn. Now let us discuss and apply the first 4 stages of the designing process. General analysis of the problem and the formulation of the design brief. In this stage, you look at the analysis of the situation, meaning what made you want to come up with such an idea? What need or problem did you see? It's very helpful to the designer to remain focused on the exact need or problem and how it can be satisfied or solved.
Madam, if I assume I see my fellow learners helping each other to open and close the tap in order to wash their hands, but won't remove any bacteria because they still have to touch the bacteria on the tap, and I decide to come up with a better solution, have I analyzed the situation in that manner?
Exactly. In the general analysis, you also consider questions like what will the product function for? How will it work, or what will it be made for? All those questions in a general analysis are needed for you to consider the design brief, which is a short statement about the task to be solved. An example of a design brief would read, designing and making a device that can hold a container without someone having to open or close it when washing their hands. Preparation and precision of specification. In this stage, a designer has to prepare the making of his product by doing research around the community. Through this, you generate many ideas. Examples of areas to think about are materials to be used, existing duplicate products, production process, how will the product be made, costs involved, and safety precautions.
For example, one can go around questioning people about the devices which hold containers already existing. This can include material used for the product, time taken to produce the products, the cost of the products, the color, shape and materials that will be suitable for the device that you want to make.
I have smart kids. That is a very good idea, Toyni. At this stage, you may draw images for people speaking and raising their point of views. You can draw up a pie chart, graphs, or anything that can give information to get different opinions. Select and list your specifications. Your specifications must be brief and to the point. Exploration of ideas. At this stage, you will search and come up with different ideas about a device that will meet the same function or specification. Examples include a container on a table, a container on a chair, a container on two poles with a rope attached to a stick where a person taps his foot on the stick and the rope pulls down the container to release water. Sketch or paste these ideas and use notes to evaluate each idea. Development of proposed solution. Select the final idea. The idea which you have generated during the previous stage will help you to arrive at the final solution. At this stage, you put measurements on your product, show how the product will be made, exploded views. Use different drawing methods to present your final idea, showing all hidden details of the product, including dimensions, joining methods, and fixtures.
Now that you have explained all these stages, where will we apply them, ma'am?
Well, Evelyn, you have to apply them to every design you make. We're going to design a device that will hold the container, but when people come and wash their hands, they will not have to touch the container.
Ma'am, since the lesson is over, I would like to conclude today's lesson. Please, before I forget anything, the lesson was very informative.
Go ahead, Toini.
Okay. Today I learned that there are three main factors that affect our design choices. These are functions of the product, aesthetics, which are the beauty of the product, ergonomics, which is a way that the technology used to design or make the product is user-friendly. I also learned about the 4 design stages, which are analysis of a situation and design brief, preparation and precision of specification, exploration of ideas, and development of proposed solutions. I also learned what we do in each stage. Take 2. I also learned what we do in each stage.
That brings us to the end of today's program. But before we say goodbye, here's your task for today. Outline 4 stages of the design process. Describe what is involved in each of the following stages of the design process: analysis and design brief. Have a good day. Stay safe. This program was written by Miss Naomi Kuskinkankas.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.
Hello listeners, and welcome to the 3rd program in our series. Let us learn about design and technology, which is produced for grade 8 learners and everybody else who has an interest in the subject. My name is Nodi Iambo, and today we will learn about resistant materials. Please have a pen and a notebook ready so that you can make notes of the important points. And don't forget to take part in the quizzes at the end of the program. Wood is one of the best and most important material in a workshop, isn't that so? In today's program, we will talk about timber, wood, as a resistant material. At the end of this program, you should be able to Collect and discuss a selection of locally used wood regarding types, origin, properties, and uses. A teacher went to a class and he found his learners debating on two materials, namely metal and wood. They were arguing which one of the two is best to use. He decided to select a topic based on their discussion. He chose wood. Good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
I see you are having a discussion comparing wood and metal. Today we will talk about the resistant material, which is wood or timber. Can anyone please tell me what timber is?
Yes, sir. It is a general name used for construction.
Timber is every chair and table in this class.
You are all correct. Timber is a useful material that is used in our everyday life. Timber is classified into two groups, namely softwood timber and hardwood timber. Softwood include trees that bears cones with seeds and has narrow, needle-like leaves and is evergreen, while hardwood trees have broad leaves with covered seeds and are deciduous. Who can give me an example of softwood and hardwood?
Yes, sir. Softwood examples are palm tree, baobab, marula trees. I don't know about the hardwood.
For hardwood, we have mopane tree, oak tree, and acacia tree.
Whoa, that is a great thing. I don't have time to explain it in more detail because you know the difference between hard and softwood timber. Most of these types of timber originate from the northern regions of our country, such as Oshana, Kavango East and West, as well as Zambezi regions. This is because of the rain patterns in those regions. Other softwood, such as SA pine, is imported. Now let's look at their properties and uses. Common properties of softwoods: lightweight compared to hardwoods, ease of working, meaning easy to machine and shape, cheaper than hardwoods, color, mostly light brown or yellowish, works well with most finishes and adhesives, glue. Common properties of hardwoods: they are heavier than softwoods, they are hard, which makes it difficult to cut or shape, they are more durable and expensive, the color is usually dark brown or reddish brown, most of them are resistant to decay, which includes fungi and bacteria attacks, attractive grains and naturally beautiful, and they have high tensile strength.
So if hardwood is so expensive, can it be used for commercial purposes, sir?
Yes, Eusebius. It can be used for commercial purposes. Commercial means that something is ready to be in the industrial process, or it means that it can be sold or used. For example, beams in construction. Let's look at the uses of these woods, which are: uses of softwoods. Can be used for roof trusses, bookshelves, teacher's desks, tomato boxes. Uses of hardwoods: for high quality furniture, doors, railway, garden benches, wooden mallets.
Oh, really? I didn't know hardwood is also used in railways.
Yes, we use hardwoods in railway construction because it has the following properties: hardness, resist bending, high tensile strength, and they are durable, meaning they last longer.
Thank you for helping out with our debate on timber, sir. Can I speak before I forget anything we have learned today?
You are welcome.
Yes, sir. Today we have learned the difference between two types and origin of woods, softwood and hardwood. We also learned of their common properties and uses.
And that brings us to the end of today's program. But before we say goodbye, Here are your questions for the day. What are the uses of timber? And state 2 examples of each, hardwood and softwood. Have a nice day and stay safe. This program was written by Mrs. Naomi Koskenkangas.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.
Hello listeners, and welcome to our 4th program in our series. Let us learn about design and technology, which is produced for grade 8 learners and anybody who has an interest in the topic. My name is Nodi Iyambo, and today we will learn about mechanism. And don't forget to take part in the quiz at the end of the program. Please have a pen and a notebook ready so that you can take notes of the most important points. A bicycle is one of the best forms of transportation that could be used in towns and villages, isn't it right? I hope today's lesson will shed a light on the mechanism and other things found on bicycles. At the end of this program, you should be able to identify and describe different types of movements: linear, rotary, reciprocating, oscillating. Illustrate mechanisms that produce the listed motions. Explain the concepts: lever, mechanical advantage. Calculate the mechanical advantages if mechanical advantage equals to load divided by effort.
You know what, Kale? My dad was so furious yesterday because I took my sister to school on a bicycle, and before we reached the gate, she fell off and injured her leg because the brakes failed to operate. I was so angry about it because I couldn't manage to save her from falling.
I know what you mean, because it also happened to me some times ago, and my parents got very angry with me.
I don't really know what caused the brakes to fail. Maybe I should ask Mr. Emmanuel.
Good morning, class.
Morning, sir.
Rita and Kale, please sit down. What is going on?
Sorry, Mr. Emmanuel. We were discussing something related to what we learned today. I took my sister to school and the bicycle's brakes failed. It hurt me so much because she hurt her leg. I was riding at a high speed and then she fell. I'm now worried it will happen again.
Oh yeah, it also happened to me, and my parents were very angry.
Thank you, Rita and Kale. So our topic for today is mechanism. Last year in grade 7, we discussed the meaning of mechanism. Can you explain what mechanism is in your own words, Rita?
If I remember well, mechanism refers to anything that converts input force to transfer motion, thereby performing work.
Excellent, Rita. That is the meaning of a mechanism. Mechanism also have types of movement, motions, which are linear movement, drawing a straight line with a ruler, reciprocating, pounding mahangu or windmill pipe, oscillating movements. An example is a swing or a pendulum watch, rotational movement, windmill propellers. Let us talk about a lever. A lever is a pivoted rigid bar or long object that rests on a fulcrum which is used to lift or move loads. Mechanical advantage means that you can move a large load using a relatively little effort. Actually, mechanical advantage is the ratio of load, force output, to effort, force input, and is calculated using the formula below. MA equals to L divided by E, and the L stands for load and the E stands for effort. For example, if a force of 40 Newton is applied to a crowbar to lift a weight of 100 Newton, 100 divided by 40, which is equal to 2.5. Newtons cancel each other out as you divide.
Which type of movement can be found in a train?
Oscillating, linear train moving forward, and rotary movement of the wheels. So what have we learned today? Please, Rita.
We've learned a lot today. We have learned the definition of a mechanism. We learned calculating the mechanical advantage formula, given that mechanical advantage equals to load divided by effort, the types of movements, illustration of mechanism, concept of lever, and mechanical advantage.
Up to the sky, jump to the sky, up to the sky.
And that brings us to the end of today's program. But before we say goodbye, here is your task for the day. Get your notebooks and a pen and try to complete the task. Calculate the mechanical advantage given that a man used a long pole as a lever to lift a 600 Newton load and he applied an effort of only 50 Newton. Calculate the mechanical advantage of the lever. And that brings us to the end of today's program. Please stay home and protect yourself. Stay safe. This program was written by Mrs. Naomi Koskenkangas.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to our 5th program in our series, Let Us Learn About Design and Technology, which is produced for grade 8 learners and anybody who has an interest in the topic. My name is Jandre Nitschke, and today we will learn about safety precautions. Don't forget to take part in the quiz at the end of the program. Please have a pen and notebook ready so that you can make notes of the important points. Tools can be the workman's best friends if they are well looked after and taken care of. However, they can be your worst enemies if you handle them carelessly. Isn't that so? I hope today's lesson will shed a little light on the safety precautions of National Occupational Safety Authority or Association, NOSA. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to apply and use tools safely, explain the necessity of wearing protective clothing, list appropriate safety measures with prevention of HIV and AIDS in mind regarding open wounds and bleeding.
Hi, Hafeni. So yesterday I saw one of my friends at the workshop using machines without applying safety precautions. I was so furious at her. Let's go to class and ask the teacher about this.
Good morning, class.
Morning, ma'am.
Laura and Afeni, please sit down. I saw you discussing something. What was it all about?
Yesterday, one of our learners did not apply the safety rules in the workshop. I hope today's topic will make us understand the importance of using safety precautions.
Yes, please, ma'am.
Thank you for that, learners. All right, class, that discussion is related to our topic for today, which is safety precautions. In the previous grades, we discussed the safety precautions on personal safety rules and safety on tools and machinery. We said safety rules are always the main consideration in design and technology. Firstly, we're going to learn to look at basic NOSA safety precautions in the classroom before we look at NOSA safety aspects. They are: never run in the workshop, always wear protective clothing, sharp tools should be carried with their sharp edges facing down, avoid loose clothing, for example neckties and long loose sleeves, keep the floor free of scrap materials, tools or oil. Practice the safety drill or know how to switch off machines and know where emergency buttons are located. Always inspect the tool before and after use. Report all accidents and broken tools to the teacher immediately, and never use a machine without the teacher's permission.
Mrs. Katrina, can I have long, loose hair when working in the workshop?
No, because your hair could get stuck in machines and that would seriously injure you.
Could you please tell me the meaning of HIV and AIDS, ma'am?
Hafeni, HIV stands for Human Immune Virus. This is a virus that leads to AIDS, while AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Let's look at the safety rules with regard to prevention of HIV and AIDS when bleeding or having an open wound. Hafeni, with an open wound, you never want to touch anybody else's blood with your bare hands. When it comes to bleeding, always remember to wear latex gloves when giving first aid to stop bleeding, and never share sharp tools, for example, needles or razors, with anybody.
So today we learned what NOSA stands for, the basic NOSA safety precautions, explanation of the importance of wearing protective clothes, abbreviation of HIV and AIDS, as well as prevention of HIV and AIDS when it comes to bleeding and open wounds.
Up to the sky, jump to the sky, up to the sky, up to the
That brings us to the end of today's program. But before we say goodbye, here are your questions for the day. Make sure you have your book and your pen so that you can answer the following activity, which is a multiple choice question. 1. Tools can be the workman's worst enemy. A, if one handles them carelessly. B, if they are well looked after. C, if taken care of. Or D, if one handles them carefully. 2. When using the hacksaw, A, always hold the hacksaw on both ends. B, always hold the hacksaw between your fingers. C, always hold the hacksaw with both hands. Or D, hold the hacksaw with one hand. Have a blessed day ahead and take care of yourself. This program was written by Miss Naomi Koskenkangas.
This program was brought to you by NAMCOL with funding from the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the Commonwealth of Learning.